Hello learners! This is Teacher Kimberly and welcome to my channel. Halina't makinig at matuto ng mga pamamaraan at konsepto sa mathematics sa aking tutorial video. At kung bago ka pa lang sa channel ko, huwag kalimutang mag-like, share at subscribe. Pindutin din ang notification bell button para maging updated ka sa mga susunod kong video. Good morning grade 10 students! We are now in the first quarter and week 1 of our school year 2022 to 2023. And our topic for today's tutorial is all about generating patterns. Learning objectives. In this lesson, you are expected to first, generate and describe patterns. Second, find the next few terms of a sequence. Third, list the terms in a sequence given the general term. And lastly, find the general or nth term of a sequence. Before we start, let us have first an activity entitled What's Next? It will help you better understand our lesson in generating patterns. In this activity, we are going to determine what is the next term in the given sequence. For number 1, we have January, February, March, April, May. So what do you think is the next term after the month of May? Of course, the answer is June. For number 2, we have 3, 6, 9, 12. So, in this item, in number 2, we are going to look or to find the next 3 terms of the given sequence. At kung napapansin nyo dito, ang bawat term ay dinadagdagan ng 3. So, halimbawa, sa 3, we add by 3. So, 3 plus 3 equals 6. 6 plus 3 equals 9. 9 plus 3 equals 12. So, dadagdagan din natin dito si 12 ng 3 para makuha ang panglimang term. So, 12 plus 3 equals 15. And 15 plus 3 equals 18. And 18 plus 3 equals 21. So, the missing 3 terms is 15, 18, and 21. And for number 3, we have 2, 4, 8, 16. So again, we are going to look for the next 3 terms of the given sequence. Dito sa number 3, kung napapansin nyo, yung bawat term ay minomultiply into 2 para makuha ang sumusunod na term. So 2 times 2 equals 4. 4 times 2 equals 8, and 8 times 2 equals 16. At para makuha ang panglimang term, imomultiply din natin si 16 by 2. So 16 times 2 equals 32, and 32 times 2 equals 64, and 64 times 2 equals 128. So, the next 3 terms in the given sequence are 32, 64, and 128. And for number 4, we have 2, 4, 16. This time, we are going to look for the next 2 terms of the given sequence. So, kung napapansin nyo dito sa number 4, ang bawat term ay ini-squared or iminomultiply mismo sa kanyang sarili. So, 2 raised to 2 or 2 squared is equal to 4. And 4 raised to 2 or 4 squared is equal to 16. So, ang gagawin natin dito para makuha ang pang-apat na term, imomultiply din natin si 16 by itself. So, 16 squared or 16 times 16 is equal to 256. And again, ang ating pang-apat na term ay imo-multiply din natin sa kanyang sarili mismo. So, 256 squared is equal to 65,536. So, the next two terms of the given sequence are 256 and 65,536. So, what do we mean by patterns and sequences? When we say patterns, these are numbers, shapes, or other objects that are arranged according to a rule, while the sequence means an order in which one thing follows another in succession. A sequence is an ordering list. These are the examples of a sequence. We have sequence of shapes. Another is the banderitas. Third example is the stack of stones. And lastly, the sequence of the given numbers 12, 15, 18, and 21. So what is a sequence? A sequence is a set of objects which is listed in a specific order, one after another. Each member or the element in the sequence is called term. The terms in a sequence can be written as A sub 1, A sub 2, A sub 3, A sub 4, up to A sub n, which means A sub 1 is the first term, A sub 2 is the second term, A sub 3 is the third term, and A sub n is the nth term, and so on. So, ang sequence po ay set siya ng mga objects kung saan ito ay nakalista in a specific order o meron siyang pagkakasunod-sunod. At ang tawag sa bawat member or element sa given sequence ay term. Halimbawa po dito sa ating given sequence, we have 1, 3, 5, 7. Meron tayo ditong tinatawag na A sub 1, kung saan ang ating A sub 1 or the first term is 1. Our second term or the A sub 2 is 3. And the third term or A sub 3 is 5. And our A sub 4 or the fourth term is 7. Next is the finite and infinite sequence. So this time, we will determine what is the difference between finite and infinite sequence. When we say finite sequence, it contains a limited number of terms. This means it has an end or last term. In finite sequence po, limitado lamang ang kanyang number of terms. Ibig sabihin niyan, meron siyang last term. For example, letter A, days of the week has an elements such as Sunday, Monday, Tuesday, up to Saturday. Alam naman natin na ang mga araw lamang sa isang linggo ay Sunday, Monday, Tuesday, hanggang Saturday. So, nag-e-end yung days of the week in Saturday. Ang tawag doon sa Saturday ay ang ating last term. Next example. First 5 positive perfect squares has an elements such as 1, 4, 9, 16, 25. So, bakit hanggang 25 lang ang ibinigay? Kasi nga, first 5, ibig sabihin, 5 lamang na terms ang ating ibibigay na positive perfect squares. So, ang ating last term dito is 25. And when we say infinite sequence, it contains a countless number of terms of the sequence continuous without stopping or it has no end term. Sa madaling sabi, ang infinite sequence ay wala siyang last term. At ginagamitan din ito ng symbol na ellipsis o yung tatlong dots para maipakita na ang isang sequence ay infinite. Continuous yung kanyang terms. For example, the set of counting numbers has an elements such as 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and so on. Yang tatlong dots na yan o yung ellipsis ay nagpapahiwatig siya na marami pa ang counting numbers na sumusunod kay 5. Another example, the set of multiples of 5 has an element such as 5, 10, 15, 20, 25, and so on. General term of a sequence. Sometimes a pattern in the sequence can be obtained and the sequence can be written using a general term. Ibig sabihin po nito, maaari din nating malaman o makuha ang pattern ng isang sequence gamit ang kanyang general term. For example, the general term of the sequence 3, 6, 9, 12 is written as a sub n equals 3n. And if we get the value of the first term using the general term ng sequence na a sub n equals 3n, so dito yung n is the number of terms. So kung kukunin ang first term, yung n dyan ay papalitan natin ng 1. So for the first term, it will become a sub 1 equals 3 times 1, which results to 3. And para naman sa second term, yung n dito ay papalitan natin ng 2. Kaya siya magiging a sub 2 is equal to 3 times 2 and the result is 6. At para naman sa kanyang third term, yung n naman ay papalitan ng 3. Kaya siya magiging a sub 3 equals 3 times 3 and the answer is 9. At para sa fourth term, syempre, yung n naman ay papalitan din natin ng 4. So, magiging a sub 4 equals 3 times 4, which is equal to 12. So, as you can see, yung result dito from first term, second term, third term, up to the fourth term, ay nag-jive din doon sa given sequence na 3, 6, 9, 12 gamit ang kanyang general term na a sub n equals 3n. Now, let us try to find several terms of a sequence using the given general term. Example number 1. Find the first 4 terms of the sequence a sub n equals 2n minus 1. As you can see, given lang yung general term ng sequence. So, ang ating gagawin para mahanap ang kanyang first term, we will let n equals 1. Meaning, yung n dito ay papalitan natin ng 1 since ang ating hahanapin ay ang value ng first term. So, a sub n equals 2n minus 1. Substitute 1 to n, magiging a sub 1 equals 2 times 1 minus 1. Then, a sub 1 is equal to 2. Kasi nga, 2 times 1 equals 2. Then, minus 1. So, ngayon, isosubtract natin si 2 at saka si 1. Magiging a sub 1 equals 1. And that is the value of the first term. A sub 1 equals 1. At para naman mahanap ang second term, papalitan natin si n ng 2 kasi nga second term. So magiging a sub 2 equals 2 times 2 minus 1. Then simplify. A sub 2 is equal to 4 minus 1. Saan ang galing si 4? Siyempre, ito yung result ni 2 times 2. Ngayon, let us subtract. 4 minus 1 is equal to 3. Ang value ng ating second term ay 3. And para mahanap ang value ng third term natin, we will let n equals 3. Papalitan naman natin dito yung n ng 3. So, a sub 3 is equal to 2 times 3 minus 1. And the result is, so 2 times 3 equals 6. Then subtract by 1. 6 minus 1 is equal to 5. 5 naman ang value ng ating third term. And para mahanap naman ang kanyang fourth term, we will let n equals 4. Papalitan naman natin dito si n ng 4. So, a sub 4 is equal to 2 times 4 minus 1. 2 times 4 is equal to 8. Then subtract. 8 minus 1 is equal to 7. So, 7 ang value ng ating fourth term. Therefore, the first 4 terms of the sequence are 1, 3, 5, 7. Let us have another example. Find the fifth to the eighth terms of the sequence a sub n equals the quantity of negative 1 raised to n all over n plus 1. So, ngayon, ang ating hahanapin ay ang panglima hanggang pangwalong term ng given sequence gamit yung kanyang general term. So, para mahanap ang fifth term, we will let n equals 5. Meaning, yung n dito ay papalitan natin ng 5 o isa-substitute natin si 5 sa general term na given, which is a sub n equals the quantity of negative 1 raised to n all over n plus 1. So, magiging a sub 5 equals the quantity of negative 1 raised to 5 all over 5 plus 1. Next, a sub 5 is equal to negative 1 times negative 1 times negative 1 times negative 1 times negative 1 all over 6. Kasi ibig sabihin ng exponent doon na 5 ay imo-multiply mo si 1 ng 5 beses sa kanyang sarili mismo. So, a sub 5 is equal to negative 1 all over 6. Bakit negative 1? Kasi negative 1 times negative 1 is equal to positive 1. Then multiply positive 1 to negative 1, the result is negative 1. Then negative 1 times negative 1, the result is positive 1. And if you multiply it again to negative 1, the result now is negative 1. So, a sub 5 is equal to negative 1 over 6. That is the value of our fifth term. And for the 6 to the 8 terms, we will just repeat the same process that we do in the fifth term. So, ngayon, para makuha ang 6th term, we will now let n equal 6 at isa-substitute ito doon sa given na general term. So, magiging a sub 6 equals the quantity of negative 1 raised to 6 all over 6 plus 1. And negative 1 raised to 6 is equal to positive 1, and 6 plus 1 is equal to 7. And the result of a sub 6 is equal to 1 over 7. That is now the value of our 6th term. At para naman sa 7th term, we will just let n equal 7. Isa-substitute po yung 7 doon sa given na general term. So, magiging a sub 7 is equal to the quantity of negative 1 raised to 7 all over 7 plus 1. So, the quantity of negative 1 raised to 7 is equal to negative 1 all over, so 7 plus 1 is equal to 8. So, a sub 7 or the 7th term is equal to negative 1 over 8. At for the 8th term, we will just let n equals 8. So, a sub 8 equals the quantity of negative 1 raised to 8 all over 8 plus 1. And the result is 1 over 9. So, yan ang ating 8th term. Therefore, the 5th to the 8th terms of the sequence are negative 1 over 6, positive 1 over 7, negative 1 over 8, and positive 1 over 9. So, nakuha natin yung panglimang term hanggang pangwalong term ng sequence gamit lamang yung kanyang general term. This time, we are going to find the general term of the sequence by using the given several terms of the sequence. For example, write the general term of the sequence 3, 5, 7, 9, and so on. And as you notice in the terms in the given sequence, each term is 2 more than the previous term or bawat term ay dinadagdagan ng 2. Our A sub n here is the sequence 3, 5, 7, 9, and so on. At ang n naman ay 1, 2, 3, 4. Ito po yung number of terms, which is the first term ay ang 3, second term naman ay 5, and the third term is 7, and the fourth term is 9. So each term is added by 2. So, i-check natin. For the first term, yung n ay papalitan natin ng 1 kasi nga first term. So, magiging a sub 1 equals 2 times 1 plus 1. 2 times 1 is equal to 2 plus 1 equals 3. And that is our first term. And for the second term naman, yung n ay papalitan natin ng 2 or isa-substitute. So, a sub 2 equals 2 times 2 is equal to 4 plus 1 equals 5. And that is the value of our second term. And for the third term naman, ang n ay papalitan din natin ng 3. Kaya siya magiging a sub 3 equals 2 times 3 plus 1. 2 times 3 equals 6 plus 1 equals 7. And that is our third term. And for the fourth term naman, si n ay papalitan natin ng 4. So, a sub 4 is equal to 2 times 4, which is 8, plus 1 equals 9. At yun naman ang ating fourth term. So, pwede pa nating makuha ang panglima hanggang pangilang pang terms ng sequence kung ipagpapatuloy natin siya. Kaya ang general term ng given sequence na 3, 5, 7, 9, and so on is a sub n equals 2n plus 1. Therefore, the nth terms of the sequence is a sub n equals 2n plus 1, where n equals 1, 2, 3, 4, and so on. Let's have another example. Write the general term of the sequence 1, 4, 9, 16, 25, and so on. Our a sub n here is the sequence na 1, 4, 9, 16, and 25. At ang n naman is the number of terms which is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So, the first term here is 1, second term is 4, third term is 9, fourth term is 16, and fifth term is 25. Kung napapansin nyo, ang bawat terms is multiplied to itself or ini-squared siya. So, 1 times 1 or 1 squared equals 1. And the second term, 2 times 2 or 2 squared equals 4. And as for the third term, so magiging 3 squared din siya. 3 times 3 equals 9. At ang fourth term naman, 4 times 4 equals 16. And for the fifth term, 5 times 5 equals 25. Kaya ang ating general term in the sequence is a sub n equals n squared. So, i-check natin kung tama ba talaga ang ating nabuong general term. So, tingnan natin kung ang kukunin natin ay ang ika-6 na term. So, kung 6 term ang hahanapin, n will be equal to 6. So, papalitan lang natin dito sa ating general term yung n ng 6. So, a sub 6 equals 6 squared. And 6 times 6 is equal to 36. That is the value of our 6th term. And try naman natin kunin ang pang 7th term. So, kung 7th term ang hahanapin, papalitan lang natin si n ng 7. So, a sub 7 is equal to 7 squared, and 7 times 7 is equal to 49. That is the value of the 7th term. Therefore, the nth term of the sequence is a sub n equals n squared, where n equals 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and so on. Now, let us summarize our lesson. Number 1. A sequence is a set of objects which is listed in a specific order. Ang sequence po ay set siya ng objects kung saan yung bawat object o term in the sequence ay nakalista base sa kanyang pagkakasunod-sunod. Number 2. A term is each member or element in the sequence. Pag sinasabi po nating term, ito yung bawat element or member objects sa given na sequence. Number 3. A finite sequence contains limited number of terms, while infinite sequence contains countless number of terms. Ang finite sequence po ay limitado yung number of terms. Meron siyang first term and meron din siyang last term. Samantala, ang infinite sequence naman ay countless yung kanyang terms. Continuous. Hindi siya nag-i-stop. Wala po siyang end term o yung tinatawag nating last term. At ang infinite sequence din po ay ginagamitan siya ng ellipsis o yung tatlong dots after the term. Yun pong ellipsis na yun, nagpapahiwatig siya na meron pang mga sumusunod na terms pagkatapos ng term. Number 4, to find the specified term or terms of a sequence, when given the general term, substitute the number of term n to the given equation of the nth term. Dito naman sa number 4, kapag given daw yung general term of the sequence, para mahanap ang terms, specified terms of the sequence, kailangan nating isubstitute yung number of n or number of term or the n to the given equation. Halimbawa, kung ang pinapahanap ay ang second term, yung n doon sa general term ay papalitan din natin siya ng 2. And number 5, to write the general term of a sequence, when given some terms, determine the pattern of the given terms and write the equation of the nth term. Dito naman, kapag given ang terms ng sequence at unknown or hindi natin alam ang general term, kailangan natin munang alamin o i-determine yung pattern sa given terms. Saka pa lang natin isusulat yung equation of the nth term. That's all for today's tutorial. I hope you enjoy and learned from my lesson today. Please don't forget to like, share, and subscribe, and also hit the notification bell button so that you'll get updated for my next video. Thank you for watching!